Where do you need to chickadee check yourself before you wreck yourself on this Monday, on this start of the American Business Week? Today's Mindbender Mental Performance Podcast, especially dedicated to the Let Them Play squad. Always an honor and a privilege to get in the mix with Burnsy, Coach John, whose fungo game was on full display. Your fungo prowess and handle is elite, dude. Jory, a.k.a. JW, Jose Rio, a.k.a. Jefe, the hospitality of Jake and Melissa, as we ambushed his home on consecutive days. The thrill of victory and the agony of defeat was on full display. What is a loss? Learning opportunity, stay strong. When we don't execute the way we know we're capable of, how are we evaluating our performance? How are we taking ownership of it? Measurement is motivation. We can't manage what we don't measure. Hitters, how are you doing post-game quab execution journaling? Like all-star Ian Happ, like Bobby Witt Jr. does, like Anthony Volpe does. Pitchers, what are you doing post-game? You doing a post-game pitch execution journal? Like Corbin Burns does, like Josh Hader does? Going back to Greg Mad Dog Maddox, like he did? He lived off pitch execution percentage. It's an hourglass, dudes. We've got our AM routine. We've got our school block, practice block, PM routine. It's pregame routine, in-game routine, post-game routine. Routines. What's your 120? What's the 5-day gap in between tournaments? That's 120 hours, 5 days. What are you doing to prepare to get the best outcome that you possibly can? What are you doing to deal with, to solve any mental or oftentimes emotional barriers that get in the way of consistent, confident, and controllable performance? What's your 120? Let's get into it. Today, we're going to dive deep into a critical distinction that I think dovetails quite nicely with the weekend with LTP, a distinction in sports and in life that can truly shape culture and the success of any team. Obedience versus ownership. Now we can clarify that and get specific. When we think about obedience, we often relate it to dogs and cats and birds that don't have choice, but we as humans have choice. I think Jake and I talked about this yesterday. When you're obedient, you're relating it to following rules and directives. It's about compliance, doing what you're told without questioning it, because I told you. Well, that has its place, especially in some structured environments. It's not enough for true excellence in sports. Ownership, on the other hand, is about taking personal responsibility for every aspect of your performance and your role on the team. It's a mindset that goes beyond just following orders. It's about being fully invested, like the chicken who gave an egg and the pig who gave his life for breakfast. It's fully invested in your ape, in your appearance, in your attitude, in your preparation, in your performance, not the results of how you perform, but how you perform, your energy and effort. So if you were to get specific, appearance, ownership means showing up not just physically, but mentally prepared, looking the part, and representing your team with pride. It's not about vanity and checking yourself out in the mirror. It's about respect for yourself, your teammates, and the game. So when a player takes ownership of their appearance, they're signaling that they care and they're ready to put in the work to pay the price. What do you want? I want to be a big leaguer. I want to play at Vanderbilt. How much are you willing to suffer? What price are you willing to pay? And then do you have a series of steps that you can go to when the shit hits the fan, when the adversity comes, to turn frustration into fascination? Attitude. The most important decision we make is the attitude we take. When you bring a positive can-do spirit to every practice and game with a day one mentality, happy opening day, every day, you're an energy giver, not an energy taker. Even when things aren't going as planned, even when the umpire doesn't get a call, boys make an error behind you, the barrels aren't quite popping just yet. Kind of mindset's contagious. So when we lead by example, every guy, top to bottom, We create an environment where everyone feels empowered and energized to do their absolute best, whatever they have on that day. You give 100% of what you have on that day. Preparation, your 120. Whatever that time is between, you got to know that in hours and then allocate hours. Got to live off a calendar, not a to-do list. You got to live off principles, not off preferences. Ownership means taking the initiative to prepare both physically and mentally. It's about showing up to the yard early, studying the game plan, putting the hours in. They say quality over quantity. I say you need quality and quantity. You need them both. You need to take ABs mentally and physically. You need to play the game mentally and physically. You need to have a pre-pitch routine. A player who takes ownership doesn't wait for a coach to tell them what to do. They don't wait. They understand their responsibilities and they take the steps to ensure they're ready to play. Because why? You've got to understand, on a squad that has any team that has a good mixture of freedom and responsibility, with great freedom there comes great responsibility. So how you prepare in performance. When you move to performance, we need to focus on the process rather than solely the results. Ownership is about how you perform, how you approach each play, how you approach each pitch, each moment in the game. It's about giving the best effort you have consistently, regardless of the scoreboard. We're playing to a standard, not to a scoreboard. And the best squads and programs are made up of coaches and players who are committed to performing the game with integrity and intensity, knowing that that's what contributes to the overall success of the unit. Because the strength of the pack is the wolf, and the strength of the wolf is the pack. Shout out to the wolf man himself, Johnny Gomes. And lastly, we got our energy and our effort, right? Ownership, it means bringing your best energy every single day, day one mentality. It's about being the player who inspires others with your work ethic, with your enthusiasm, with never taking a pitch off, with never taking a play off, with never giving away an out. It's a driving force for the entire team. That kind of energy can turn a good team into a great team. Torey Lovello says it best, man. A connected team is a dangerous team. He's absolutely right. Those guys almost took the whole thing. They almost took the whole thing. They almost went full Jake Taylor and said, win the whole fucking thing. Lastly, player leadership. This is a good takeaway here. The best teams and programs are player-led, not coach-fed. When players take ownership of their roles and responsibilities, they create a culture of accountability and support around each other. Coaches can guide and provide resources, but it's the players who set the tone. It's the players who set the tone. Who do you learn the most from? Your teammates. So we got to think about that in the respect of the best teams are not coach-fed, they're player-led. We got to empower guys to lead and create a winning mentality that goes beyond the X's and O's and right into the hearts of the Jimmies and the Joes. So, as we wrap up today, I encourage you to reflect on your own journey in life and in sport. Are you obeying and being obedient, or are you taking ownership? How can you evaluate your appearance, your attitude, your preparation, your performance, your energy, and your effort to contribute to your life success and your team success? Because it truly is the players that take ownership that become the heartbeat of the team. It's the players that take ownership that become the heartbeat of the team. So got to embrace the mindset, got to strive together because we need total effort of all members. Until next time, separation's in the preparation, and it's today plus today plus today that equals your goals. They say, trust the process. I say, no. Show me the process that you trust. Own your performance. Thanks for tuning in to the Mindbender Mental Performance Podcast. If you found today's episode valuable, share it with your teammates, your coaches, your friends, your parents, whoever. And let's keep the conversation going. Hit me up directly here at the Mindbender Imagination Lab and Studio, 480-529-5756. Why is he wearing the lid today? Well, don't be big hat, no cattle, right? Don't be all talk. Pay the price, prepare, take ownership. And that could be making your bed and brushing your teeth before somebody tells you to in the morning if you're a young guy. If you're an older guy, it's living the snow globe life. If everybody could see into your life, would you be proud of every moment that you're living to take you from where you are to where you want to go? Because we all got a gap. So let's close it up. Hit me up. Kowalski at mindbendermentalperformance.com. You can also check out the website on the World Wide Web, that's on the interwebs, at www.mindbendermentalperformance.com. Again, a special thank you to the LTP squad and Jake and Melissa for their hospitality. And until next time, the best is yet to come. Gotta check yourself before you wreck yourself.